So, Christopher Columbus was kind of stupid. There's so many things wrong with the retelling of Columbus's voyage. First off, he didn't discover America. That should be pretty obvious because there are already people there. They traveled from modern-day Russia to Alaska and then to the rest of the continent before the land bridge melted away. He wasn't even the first European there. The Vikings got there before him. Some Icelanders started traveling north and voila, they found Greenland. And then Leif Erikson traveled a bit further and boom, they found some new land. Guys, what should we call this newfound land? Newfoundland? I always found that weird, that the Vikings found this great new place and chose a name like Newfoundland. Yes, I know it's pronounced Newfoundland, and it probably means something different in a different language, but whatever. The Vikings got driven out anyway. Anyway, back to Columbus. During the Mongols' reign over Asia, the Europeans were blessed with trade of goods through the Silk Road. But once the Mongols fell and the Ottoman Turks started taking power, Europe was like, who are these guys and are they friendly? Turns out they aren't very friendly, and they're all like, haha, I'm blocking the spice trade. Nanny nanny boo boo. And so Columbus is like, guys, I have an idea. If I can find another route to Asia around these guys, we can get all of our goodies back. He just needs some funding. So he goes to Venice, no luck. He goes to Genoa, no luck. He sends his brother over to England to speak to Henry VIII, no luck. Well, it is Henry VIII, so I didn't expect much. He finally goes to Castile, and they're all like, no, dude, we got this. But he's like, please. They're like, okay, fine. So Ferdinand II says, if you complete this mission successfully, I'll rank you as Admiral of the Sea, okay, bud? Now go fetch me some new trade routes, monkey. So after Columbus gets out of jail, don't ask, it's a long story, he sets sail on his first voyage on his boats, the Santa Mary, the Nino, and the Pinata. After a bit of voyaging, about 5 weeks in fact, a lookout on the Pinata spotted land. Land ho! However, Columbus does not think this is a new land. He insists that it's just an undiscovered part of Asia. He sails back and is all like, hey guys, I found some new rad land over here in Asia. They're all like, no dude, you should have died before he made it to Asia. It's way too far. You see, people didn't think Columbus was stupid for going on his voyage because they thought the earth was flat.
Think the world isn't flat at all. I think it's round like a ball.
Did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said? He said that the world is round. Oh,
He's crazy, man.
They ridiculed him because they knew the earth was a lot bigger than Columbus said it was. This had to do with different measurements used and stuff like different foreign angles and degrees, whatever. But no, everyone did not think the earth was flat. It's the 1400s, not the birth of man. In fact, it was Washington Irving's super romanticized and dramatized biography of Christopher Columbus that included this detail about the flat earth, which for some reason everyone mistakenly thought was historically accurate. This rumor has been spread so far that teachers around the world are saying, yeah, everyone back in the day were dummies. Columbus was the only one who knew the truth. In fact, I remember my own teacher said this as well. Also, Columbus was a big meanie boopini. Gotta keep it PG for the kiddies. When he arrived on the island, he saw some natives with gold earrings, and he took them captive and was like, where did you get the gold? Give me that gold, baby. And also noted that they were primitive and were pretty much incapable of defending themselves due to a lack of steel swords and other weaponry. He even said, I could conquer them all with less than 50 men. Something like that. He also was like, I can make these guys Christians very easily. They don't have any religion and they repeat anything we say to them. Hey Lord, if you want me to make them Christians, I'll hook you up, dog. Anyway, everyone back on the mainland is like, wow, this guy discovered a new land on Asia. He's pretty cool. But the educated people are like, you should have died before you got there. Something seems fishy here. Columbus made a few more voyages and explored a bit more, but still insisted that what he found was just an undiscovered and uncontacted region of Asia. It wasn't until Amerigo Vespucci sailed over there and mapped it all out and was like, guys, you might not believe me, but we may have a completely new continent on our hands. So Columbus died, not even knowing what he had discovered. Some people argue that he was actually aware that it wasn't part of Asia after his later voyages, but it's disputed. Columbus's voyage are kind of awkward because it's like, well, Columbus was an idiot, and he treated the natives horribly. Him and the people after him massacred and spread diseases throughout the New World, killing hundreds of thousands of indigenous people. And his entire claim to fame is riddled with lies and misconceptions. But we do have to honor him because, while I don't like to admit it, Columbus is the only reason we're here today. You can't say, oh, the Vikings were the first ones, so let's honor them. Because even though they got a pretty good settlement in Greenland, they traveled about as far as half the length of Anat's you-know-what. And their settlements in Newfoundland got destroyed by the natives and they were driven out. Yeah, they got beaten by the natives with wooden spears. But what's different about Columbus is that he stayed, and he brought massive European attention to it, leading to the colonization of the Americas, one of the most important events in all of world history. I see many people complain about the fact that we celebrate on Columbus Day. Well, in my opinion, why complain about a free holiday? Russia to Alaska, and then the rest of the continent. They traveled. They found some new. Frick. It probably means something in. And it probably means something in different. Fuck. Anyway, back to Columbus. Now go. This had to do with something with. This had to do with different measurements, size, and grab. In fact, it was. But the rumor had. Columbus was a big meanie boobini. Gotta keep it PG. Also, Columbus was a big frick. He saw some natives with gold earrings, and he took them